you're watching this, you've probably seen at least one Disney Pixar film in the past few decades. And whether that movie gives you a good laugh, or even if the movie leaves you crying in your seat in the theater, I think we can all agree that Pixar does movies like no other. But one film in particular has a lot to say about the world that we live in today. Through clever use of characters, as well as world building, Pixar utilizes cultural invisibility to create a fascinating story that anyone could fall in love with, while at the same time conveying an extremely important message about the world we live in today. WALL-E perfectly conveys the pervading cultural belief that humanity's unbridled consumption brought on by advancements in technology will one day leave our natural world uninhabitable, rendering us even more dependent on this very technology.
Hey, take the captain!
Please remain stationary. A service bot will be here to assist you momentarily.
Stewards! Hello?
Please remain stationary.
So how exactly does WALL-E focus on such an important topic without losing its own Disney Pixar magic? Well, if you ask the film's director, Andrew Stanton, his focus for the film from the very beginning was entirely on the relationship between WALL-E and Eve. However, despite Stanton's focus on making sure sparks fly throughout his love story, references to overconsumption in today's society are absolutely undeniable. We first see WALL-E and Eve meeting in a dystopian version of Earth, a world that has been destroyed by our own consumption and then entirely left behind by the human race. Towers of garbage and waste are stacked taller than skyscrapers in the city that has been chosen to represent what is left of our own Earth. Aside from the film's deep focus on environmentalism, what makes WALL-E such an impressive film isn't simply the issue that its narrative tackles, but the creative balance that the narrative provides. WALL-E would never have become the work of art that it has today, if not for the director's seamless use of narrative as well as storytelling. Throughout the film, we almost never lose sight of WALL-E. The story follows our little robot friend as his journey takes the audience from our dead, rotted Earth that we once called home, to the bleak and almost inhumane future that could await us in space. Nowhere near as many people would have flocked to the theaters to see WALL-E if it was just a silly story about a robot cleaning up trash in a version of Earth that's been destroyed by the selfishness of humans. Well, 'cause that would be boring, and honestly, it sounds pretty depressing too. But Pixar knew this when they made WALL-E, and that's why they were extremely careful to ensure that their film was as political as it was innocent. They recognized how important it was to spread their message about our world, but they also understood that WALL-E never could have had the impact that it did without a strict focus on a much more lighthearted tale. Very few films are quite as inspirational as WALL-E. As silly as it may sound to say about a movie that could be dismissed as nothing more than a children's cartoon, WALL-E has an impact that not many films we see today are capable of. So the next time you're thinking of making a film or writing a script, maybe you should be thinking of WALL-E for some inspiration. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.